Let's get right into it. Number 8. The glitch in the aging code. Silicon Valley billionaires are spending fortunes trying to biohack a longer life, but they might be getting beaten by a generic pill that costs just a few cents. It's called metformin. Originally extracted in the 1920s from the French lilac flower, it went on to become the most prescribed type 2 diabetes medication on the planet. For decades, it was just a cheap, everyday way to control blood sugar, until researchers looked at the data and noticed a massive glitch. In a study of over 78,000 patients, diabetics taking metformin were actually outliving completely healthy people by 15%. It turns out, this medication accidentally hacks a deep survival circuit. It activates an enzyme called AMPK, which is essentially your body's master energy switch. It tricks your system into thinking it is starving. Your cells immediately stop focusing on growth and switch into a deep repair mode, cleaning out internal toxic trash to survive. It is exactly like dropping your phone into power-saving mode, so the battery doesn't degrade over time. Because of this, longevity doctors are now quietly prescribing it off-label to completely healthy people. The typical protocol runs between 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily. You still need a medical sign-off, especially since it can blunt your muscle growth if you lift heavy weights. But for a few pennies a dose, it is the cheapest time machine you can buy at a pharmacy. Number 7. The DNA Skin Rewriter. Most people assume that to fix wrinkles, you just need to rub expensive collagen onto your face. But here's the reality. Those collagen molecules are way too massive to actually penetrate your skin. They just sit on the surface. If you want to physically reverse the damage of aging, you have to rewrite the cells. Back in the 1970s, Dr. Albert Kligman was testing a lab-synthesized topical medication called tretinoin to treat severe acne. But researchers soon noticed a bizarre side effect. The patients weren't just losing their pimples, their deep wrinkles were actually fading. Tretinoin is not a moisturizer. It is an all-trans retinoic acid that slips through the cell membrane and binds directly to the DNA receptors inside. It acts exactly like a strict factory manager walking onto the floor, screaming at your old lazy cells to work at the speed of youth. It forces your cell turnover rate to drop from 28 days down to just 14, actively erasing UV photoaging from the inside out. Because it is a serious medication, you only apply a pea-sized amount at night, starting at a low concentration, like 0.025%. Your face will peel at first, and you absolutely must wear sunscreen during the day, but give it 3 to 6 months to restructure the tissue. Number 6. The Plasma Repair Code. In 1973, Dr. Lauren Pickert was analyzing human blood plasma when he noticed a bizarre shift. Young people had massive amounts of a specific copper-linked peptide, but by age 60, those levels plummeted by more than half. He had just isolated GHK2. Today, labs synthesize this exact molecule into a bright blue serum that is taking over the skincare world. When you age, your skin's repair system builds erratically, leaving behind abnormal collagen like wrinkles and scars. GHK2 acts like a master architect arriving at a chaotic construction site with the original blueprints from your 20s. It forces your cells to tear down the scarred tissue and rebuild it correctly. Studies show it actually reverses the expression of over 4,000 human genes back to a youthful state. You apply this blue serum directly to your skin daily. The catch is that it is expensive, so beware of cheap fakes, and never mix it with strong vitamin C or acids, which destroy the copper bond. Get it right, and you are not just moisturizing. You're literally rubbing the signal of youth back into your skin. Number 5. The NASA Light Engine. We are constantly told that light ages us. Ultraviolet rays destroy collagen, but there is a specific spectrum of light that does the exact opposite. In 1993, NASA used red LED panels to grow plants on the space shuttle. But scientists soon noticed a bizarre side effect. Astronauts working under these panels saw their hand injuries heal unnaturally fast. It wasn't magic, it was physics. This is photobiomodulation. When you absorb specific red and near-infrared wavelengths, those photons physically pierce your skin. They travel directly into your mitochondria and strike an enzyme called cytochrome C oxidase. This collision kicks out the toxic buildup clogging your cellular engine. Suddenly, your cells can gulp oxygen and pump out massive amounts of ATP energy. It is quite literally wireless charging for the human body. Today, biotech companies manufacture these space-age light panels for your home. You just stand in front of the device, bare-skinned, for 10 to 20 minutes a day. Studies show this daily charge can boost tissue recovery by 200% and naturally stimulate new collagen. Just make sure you buy a high-grade panel, because cheap masks lack the power to penetrate your skin. Number 4. The lost energy molecule. Think back to when you were 18. You could stay up all night and still wake up with a full tank of gas. By 30, that tank feels like it has a permanent leak. We call it getting old. But scientists have found a specific reason for this crash. You are literally running out of cellular fuel. It's called NAD+. This molecule is the primary currency of your metabolism and the only thing that powers sirtuins, the genes responsible for repairing your DNA. Here's the problem. By age 50, your NAD+ levels drop by 50%. When this fuel runs dry, your body stops repairing itself and starts decaying. You can't just eat NAD+, the molecule is too bulky to enter your cells. That's where precursors like NMN and NR come in. These are smaller molecules found in supplement form that your cells easily assemble into fresh fuel. In a landmark 2013 study, older mice given NMN saw their muscle and energy levels recover until they were indistinguishable from young mice. Think of your anti-aging genes as a team of firefighters. They are already standing by, but if the water lines are dry, they can't put out the fires of aging. NMN essentially refills the tank, so the system can do its job again. Today, this is a billion-dollar industry, with biohackers taking 500 to 1,000 milligrams every morning. While the FDA debates its official status, the underlying science is clear. You already have the anti-aging hardware installed, you just ran out of battery. Number 3. The Autophagy Trigger. Most people think of a detox as a weekend of drinking expensive green juice, but real cellular cleaning is a lot more visceral. It is called autophagy, which literally translates to self-eating, and there is a specific compound that acts as the ultimate biological trigger for it. Spermidine. The name comes from exactly where you think it does. It was first isolated in 1678 from human semen, but today, the version you find in high-end supplements is concentrated from wheat germ or fermented Japanese soybeans called natto. The strange part is how it works. Spermidine essentially tricks your body into thinking you are starving, even if you just ate. It inhibits an enzyme called EP300, which sends a frantic signal to your cells that resources are low. To survive, your cells have no choice but to hunt down and cannibalize their own internal trash. They bundle up broken proteins and decaying organelles and literally eat them to recycle the parts into fresh energy. Think of it like the Marie Kondo of your biology. Your cells look at the cellular junk causing inflammation and heart disease, decide it does not, spark joy, and incinerate it. A massive study in Italy even found that humans with the highest intake of this compound had a significantly lower risk of death from almost every cause. It is a clinical-grade house cleaning that happens from the inside out. It tricks your body into cleaning house, extending your lease on life. Number 2. The epigenetic clock reset. We're taught that aging is just a slow accumulation of damage, like a car getting dented, until it eventually breaks down. But scientists have discovered that your body actually keeps a Horvath clock in your DNA. And it turns out, we can actually vant ngukna. Here's the weird part. Your DNA isn't actually broken as you age. It just gets covered in chemical gunk, called methyl groups. This is epigenetic aging. These groups act like sticky tape covering the buttons on a remote control, eventually making it impossible for your body to turn on the genes that keep you young. But there is a natural metabolite called calcium alpha ketoglutarate, or KAKG, that functions like a high-powered solvent. In a landmark 2021 study on humans, researchers found that after just 7 months of taking this compound, users reduced their biological age by an average of 8 years. It works by fueling specific enzymes called TET that physically cowsatch those chemical merng bam from your DNA, restoring your genetic code to its original, youthful state. Think of your DNA like a classic cookbook. Aging is what happens when the pages get stuck together with grease and spills. KAKG is the solution that dissolves the glue, allowing you to flip back to the original recipes for a healthy, functioning body. It is the first time we've had a bi-test Trian hawk that proves we can actually change our biological age. Number 1. The Senolytic Cleanser. Imagine your body is being slowly poisoned from the inside by cells that refuse to die. We usually think of aging as a gradual weakening of every cell, but the reality is much more uncanny. As we age, some of our cells turn into zombies. They don't work, they don't divide, and they don't die. Instead, they linger, screaming out toxic inflammatory signals that infect the healthy cells around them. The strange part is that we now have a way to hunt them down. It is a biological sniper team known as D plus Q. This is a combo of dasatinib, a heavy-duty leukemia medication, and quercetin, a natural pigment found in apple peels. In 2019, researchers at the Mayo Clinic proved that this specific cocktail could successfully identify and execute these zombie cells in humans. It works like a master gardener, pulling rotten apples out of a basket before the mold can spread. By clearing out just 30% of these lingering zombies, researchers have seen a radical reversal in physical decline. Because this involves a powerful prescription drug, it isn't something you take every day. Doctors use a hit-and-run protocol, where you take a small dose for a few days and then stop for months to let your immune system sweep away the debris. It is a sharp, surgical strike against the foundations of aging. You don't need to heal every cell, you just need to execute the zombies.